The final part of our technology stack is proprietary software called Listing Power Tools. You'll probably recognize the initials of Listing Power Tools, LPT. This is actually the namesake and the origin of building LPT Realty. Listing Power Tools was built on the concept of empowering agents with a single property marketing system. Everything you need to wow a seller and market a property provided in a single box, being driven by text capture technology so you can get the leads you need, the contact information of the clients who are interested in that property, and show real results to the seller while also impressing their neighbors as you audition for the next listing and the next listing after that. And this amazing technology at Listing Power Tools is now owned by LPT Realty. It includes direct mail, printed collateral, amazing digital marketing tools, everything you need to market a property and exceed the seller's expectations.
I met Robert when I first got into real estate, and I had done a bunch of transactions in my first couple of months. I wanted to find out as much as I could about what he had done to be successful, and I would implement some of those marketing principles that he had. And slowly but surely, he started running concepts of, well, what if you could do this? Or what if you could do this? Or what if? And so it ultimately ended up becoming the birth of Listing Power Tools.
Yeah, so spin your mind back. In 2016, I went to work for Robert, and he had just gotten the prototype of the Listing Power Tools Power Pack.
I was in those first years back then of building this brand with him. Robert was touching all spheres of marketing at that point.
Radio, television, buying outdoor, writing books, pushing digital, sending out thousands and thousands of pieces of mail.
There were good agents out there who just didn't understand how to market, who understood the contract, who understood how to service the client, who just needed that additional help.
Robert decided that he was going to go full in to try to help real estate agents to win. That was really his motivation. And so he created these marketing tools.
I mean, Robert spent over $150 million on advertising and marketing to be able to put together what he felt was going to help the agent win at the highest level. And it worked.
And all these testimonials were coming in. I had agents that were sending selfies with the box.
Everywhere we went, agents were just crushing it with this box.
It was the most powerful marketing presentation that existed for real estate.
People were literally lined up out the door and around the corner to sign up for Listing Power Tools.
It was just really cool to be there and see the success that these agents were having.
You would drive down the street and see Listing Power Tools writers everywhere.
So innovative. Nobody's ever seen anything like this before.
I mean, it was a phenomenon.
It was absolutely on fire.
Everyone was winning.
My mind was blown at the success I was having because of this box.
The product was so good, it basically wrote its own ads.
It was growing from a geography standpoint. We were spreading across the nation.
People I didn't even know were asking me about this magic white box.
The magic white box.
The magic white box.
I think Robert began to be frustrated because it was as if he had handcuffs on.
All of us were thinking this is a successful product, successful company, successful launch. But it was not successful to Robert.
He had all these ideas of tools that he wanted to create, ways that he wanted to help real estate agents win, and he believed that he needed to become the brokerage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Excited to be here today to talk about the future of Listing Power Tools and Robert Palmer Companies. As many of you know, in 2016, we embarked on a mission to build marketing technology for real estate agents. And I had this goal to make some of the best marketing and philosophies and things that I'd used in my businesses available to real estate agents. But as we went down this journey, we started to realize that unfortunately, as a software as a service, as a SaaS provider, that our interests weren't necessarily aligned with the agents that we served. And so my team and I sat down and we thought about how can we reinvent this company in a way where our interests are aligned, where we can roll out the best possible technology for our agents to help them sell the most homes possible and be as successful as possible and help as many customers of theirs as possible. And we realized that the best way to do that was to become a real estate brokerage. And starting in 2018, we made the decision that that's the direction we were going to go. So here we are almost 4 years later, and I'm proud to announce that Listing Power Tools is giving birth to LPT Realty.
And here at LPT Realty, you actually receive one of these free on every single listing. This is the magic white box that launched Listing Power Tools back in 2016. Everything you need to market that property, every piece of collateral, from thank you cards to door hangers to business cards, and this sign writer featuring interior photos is provided. And as an LPT Realty agent, you receive one of these kits absolutely free on every one of your listings. You just pay for shipping. So let's take a look at the items included in this magic white box. We start with 2 sizes of business cards. And one of the unique things about the business cards included in the Listing Power Tools box is they feature the actual property for sale. We give you a standard business card and we give you a folding business card, which makes a nice little table topper at open houses or any other events you go to. But what we found is when you give a seller a business card with their actual property that's listed for sale on the card, they're more likely to pass it out. They're more likely to hand it to a friend. They're more likely to pin it up at their place of work instead of just throwing it in the trash or leaving it in their pocket like they would with a normal business card given to them by a real estate agent. Because let's face it, the seller wants to help you sell their home. And a big part of this system is allowing you to engage that seller to help spread the word about their home for sale. And these business cards featuring high quality photos of their property, again, driven by our text capture technology, is a great way to engage the seller in that. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, for the next month, I'm going to make your property my actual business card. So anytime I meet another agent, anytime I meet a consumer looking for a home, when I hand them my business card, it's going to have your property included in it. Just one of the many ways I'm going to market your home in a way that other real estate agents do not. We give you 2 sizes of flyers, both a standard flyer, but more importantly, and one of our probably most famous items, what we call the neighborhood report. This report actually opens up and now shows the consumer a map of the local area and shows them things like restaurants and gas stations and all of the important places to them in both a zoomed in map that shows the immediate neighborhood and also a zoomed out map that shows the entire area. These are very sticky. Consumers will take these with them. They will hold on to this. These get picked up in open houses, and then you'll have the consumer reach out to you later because of the high quality information included in this neighborhood report. Again, one of the many pieces we provide you for free every time you get a listing here at LPT Realty. We give you thank you cards featuring that home. If you're not writing thank you cards to your consumers, you're missing out. And hopefully the free thank you cards that you receive in the Listing Power Pack will motivate you to begin doing just that. You will see amazing results when you start to show gratitude. And you can send these thank you cards to agents who come through and show your property. You can send it to consumers who come through your open house. You can send it to anyone you talk to. And again, every time you send out a thank you card now, you're highlighting one of your listings, which is showing the proof of performance that you're a hardworking marketer. In addition to that, we have postcards that you can fill out and mail either to neighbors in the area or, again, people who come through those open houses. You can be creative and decide how to best use these in your market. We have door hangers, a great way to get out in the neighborhood and show those nosy neighbors how hard you work when they literally see a picture of their neighbor's house on a custom printed door hanger landing on their front door. And they say, wow, that real estate agent actually made door hangers featuring that listing. I've never seen that before. This is communication we get all the time. And then finally, a small flyer made to be pinned up on a cork board at a local coffee shop, maybe left on the coffee table at a local doctor's office. Be creative and think about how you can get this property out in as many places as possible by utilizing this system. And then, of course, last but not least, the sign writer. The real estate sign is one of the best ways to advertise that listing. And by putting interior photos or exterior rear photos onto the sign writer, we actually see consumers slow down on the side of the road to take a closer look at the sign. Once they're slowed down, it's easy to send a quick text message with the code to your dedicated 10-digit phone number that we provide to you for free here at LPT Realty, so you can capture their lead information and the system then returns them your single property website. We see agents drive a substantially higher number of leads when they begin using the Listing Power Tools system and putting the sign writer and all this amazing collateral out around the neighborhood each time they have a listing to drive both buyer leads but also nosy neighbor leads, because the neighbor who's thinking about selling is very likely to send a text to the system because they want to know what their neighbor's home is selling for. And we've given them a way to interact with you by sending a quick text message, their preferred method of communication, which is more likely to keep them out of Google and keep them off of one of the competing portals so that you can generate that lead directly for both the buyers and sellers in that local area. Another one of our amazing boxes is our open house box. Now we send you a dedicated box with a sign writer that instead of having those interior photos, now features the date and time of your open house. All of the door hangers, all of the items I just showed you are now customized to show the date and time of the upcoming open house so you can drive as much traffic as possible. And again, you drive a different level of excitement from the neighbors because they say, wow, that agent printed custom door hangers just to promote the open house. That agent printed a custom sign writer just to promote the open house. I wish my agent had worked that hard when they were selling my home. We see this reaction over and over again to the Listing Power Tools system available here at LPT Realty. And through that journey at Listing Power Tools, we realized we had to educate and arm our agents with a way to explain this amazing system. Because while the box is amazing and it's pretty and it's great, if you don't understand the psychology behind it, if you don't understand how it's going to drive better results for your seller, then it's not worth anything. And so what we realized is we needed to arm our agents with what would become the best listing presentation available anywhere in real estate still to this day. And we built this listing presentation around the idea that most real estate agents will only reach 86% of potential buyers when they market a home. We know from NAR statistics that another realtor is how 33% of potential buyers would find their home, 9% will find it by driving by the yard sign, and 44% will use online real estate search, but that leaves 14% untapped. And so the goal behind Listing Power Tools was to reach that missing 14%, and we built a listing presentation to show our agents how to communicate to potential sellers the powerful impact of reaching that missing 14%. Because having a few extra buyers interested in that property is the difference between receiving one offer where you have a single buyer trying to negotiate the price down and receiving multiple offers where now you have multiple buyers competing with each other and actually driving the price up. And by building out this amazing listing presentation where we explain to our agents so they can then explain to their sellers the power of the repetition and emotion and exposure behind each item inside the Listing Power Pack, we saw the results skyrocket in amazing ways. Agents were winning even more listings when they were armed with the knowledge and the tools to make the proper presentation around the magic white box. I believe so much in what we were building at Listing Power Tools. I actually wrote a book about it called Listing Power. And that book broke down the 11 rules that I believed an agent could follow to build their business through acquiring listings, winning listings, and then using the tools to maximize future buyer leads and future listing opportunities from each listing they were able to acquire. But as we went through the book and as I wrote the book, I realized more and more things that Listing Power Tools, the technology company, was not going to be able to provide for the agents. There were things we were doing great at, but there were things we could do better, but we realized we could only do them better if we made that tough decision to become a real estate brokerage. And so a few of the rules that came into the next level of planning as we launched LPT Realty was rule number 3, show up like no one else. This is a cornerstone of what we're building here. The magic white box, the printed collateral, everything curated and put together to impress that seller helps you show up like no one else. But we had so many more amazing ideas of how we could help our agents show up like no one else and inspire and wow those customers, but we realized we had to become their real estate brokerage. Rule number 5, generating your own leads. Another cornerstone of the Listing Power Tools system, empowering you with the technology and the collateral to turn each one of your listings into as many additional leads as possible. Rule number 10, trust classic marketing. We are all in on printed collateral. We believe highly in digital. We have some of the best digital tools available on the market. We have amazing technology to build the things you need to win in a digital world. But what we find is by driving that digital attention to the real world through printed collateral, we're able to achieve a higher level of results. And that's our trust of classic marketing. And then finally, don't ask for referrals, inspire them. One of the cornerstones of the technology and education and everything that went into Listing Power Tools was to allow our agents to inspire consumers to actually make referrals to them before they even transacted business together. The idea that you could go on a listing presentation and that customer be so blown away by your knowledge and skills and marketing and technology that they would begin to refer their friends and family to you, even if they weren't ready to sell their home yet. And that's part of the power of this amazing system and being able to inspire those referrals instead of just simply asking for them.